everyone, this is Emily Graziano, and today I'm here to do a film review for the movie called 3 Days of the Condor. And just a quick little message. I know I've said things before about me appearing on screen and the bullies and the nasty comments, but it's going to be this simple. If you leave a nasty comment, you're going to get reported and your comment will get removed. Take that with what you will. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about 3 Days of the Condor, and this video is specifically for a very good friend of mine. We just came up on being friends for 3 years now, and congratulations on being one of the most successful friendships I've ever had in my life, and I'm very grateful that we're friends, and having you as a friend has been really so amazingly cool. And this film review is for you because I know you are such a big fan of Robert Redford and you love him and adore him. You think he's so cool just as much as I do, except I've probably got a crush on him. But that's beside the point. But anyway, 3 Days of the Condor from 1975, directed by Sydney Pollack. It is one of 7 collaborations that Redford and Pollack did together. This is collaboration number 3. Collaboration number 1 is my personal favorite. This Property is Condemned. Then they did the Western Jeremiah Johnson, followed by The Way We Were, which I will never ever watch again because I hate that movie. And after that they did the Electric Horseman and Out of Africa and Havana. Maybe I need to give Out of Africa another shot. I've never seen Havana, but anyway, this movie is something that maybe on paper, if if another star was in it, I don't think I'd watch it because this is like a 70s political thriller, and I usually go for I don't really like political based movies. But luckily, this one is based more on, thriller than political. The politics just kind of drive the thriller aspect rather than the other way around. It's not like the politics are at the... there's a lot of political talk in the movie. You can still be on the edge of your seat. It's very Hitchcockian influenced, and I personally see a lot of influence from the 39 Steps, Hitchcock's British picture from 1935 starring Robert Donat and Madeline Carroll, as well as North by Northwest. So if you like these 2 movies, and for instance, I just want to say, if you like North by Northwest, first of all, you got to see the 39 Steps, because it's almost like a precursor to the 39 Steps. There's a lot of influence. And these, in turn, I know heavily influenced Condor. So, the other people starring in Condor with Robert Redford are Faye Dunaway, Cliff Robertson, and Max von Sydow. Max von Sydow is actually a French-Swedish actor, and I looked up how to pronounce his last name because it's just the right thing to do. But this movie's based off of the book called 6 Days of the Condor by James Grady, I think. I can't read my own writing on the Grady. Oops. But the book, the film rather, was changed because they didn't have the budget to do 6 days, and doing a 3-day narrative rather than a 6-day narrative works better for the medium of film. So Robert Redford plays Joe Turner, codename Condor, and he's actually not like a top secret head of the organization guy. He actually has a more modest but just as important job of reading books for the CIA, decoding out if there's any weird messages within the text, or reading the text to maybe do future code name operations, stuff like that. But he reads books for the CIA. And one day he comes to work, and then it's pretty normal, but he goes to lunch, and then when he comes back from lunch, everybody at work has been shot. Dead. Boom, 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 you're dead. So really paranoid. He steps out, and this is the interesting part. He doesn't use the works phone. He goes to the nearest payphone and he calls headquarters, and he's like, everybody's dead. What do I do? And they're like, well, just stay put. We'll have backup. And he's like, what do you mean, just stay put? So he gets actually really, really paranoid from what headquarters is telling him. And he just has to, like, hide out, basically, until he can get the answers he's looking for. And eventually he has to take matters into his own hands when the people that the headquarters send actually try to kill him. And then he kills one of the guys in self-defense because he thinks the people are going to kill him. It's a very paranoia-based film, right? So he can't trust anybody. And then he becomes suspected of murder because it's all very innocent man on the run, Hitchcockian inspired like that. And that's actually the most fascinating part, is how influenced this whole movie is from Hitchcock. And that political paranoia really drives the movie of who can I trust, who can I not trust. I mean, there's a great scene of him looking at a woman with a baby carriage, just everyday normal, walking down the street, and he gets paranoid because she reaches her hand into the carriage and he thinks he's gonna pull a gun on her. But that's how paranoid the atmosphere is. And I think people forget about that because there's a lot of talk, especially in this day and age that we live in, like that this movie is like Stockholm Syndrome. Oh, the woman he kidnaps, played by Faye Dunaway, her name's Kathy. She falls for him in like Stockholm Syndrome manner because he kidnaps her and then they end up in bed together. But I think it's the whole, I need to work with you because you may know something, but how can I trust you? And like there's a scene where he gets her to, he's like, go on the bed, get near the wall, and then he has the gun in his hand and he's like, now if you move, I'll know it. And it's on paper, yeah, I guess it looks bad, but you have to keep in mind the paranoia is driving this whole film. Here is a man who is very paranoid of who he can trust or not trust. I don't really want to give away the rest of the plot because that would be spoilers. But the whole conspiracy of, is there a CIA within the CIA? The inner workings of who's actually good versus who's actually doing the conspiracy work, who is responsible for killing everybody when I was out at lunch, that type of thing. And it really is interesting. I don't think I myself have completely grasped the ending yet, just because, I don't know, I take things, like I said, political thrillers aren't really my forte. Political thrillers of the 70s. And I honestly don't know if the subject matter in this film is dated or not dated, but what I can say is political paranoia works. But I don't know if the subject matter that they're talking about is actually dated or not dated. I didn't live through the 70s, so I don't know if it was relevant or not relevant. According to people who were there, just reading various things on the internet, they said that it was very relevant. I really don't know if that's accurate or not. I can read about it in a textbook about issues from the 70s, but I don't know if people thought that this was relevant or not, because I didn't live then. But I think it's very interesting because the paranoia aspect still holds up. And that's why I think it's a great movie. And I want to say this. The style of this movie is great. It's not that gross and gritty movie that most 70s movies you look on screen and say, like, the cinematography is a lot better. The clothing is a lot better. The Robert Redford's black pea coat and his glasses, his frameless glasses, amazing. I don't know who the costume designer was on this film, but it was incredible because Robert Redford looks absolutely timeless and adorable. In this photo right here, I think he looked absolutely timeless, adorable, and that's something that women love about him is his ability to be adorable. Like, this was made in 1975, 21 years before I was even born, yet I think he looks adorable and timeless. So there you go. There's the aspect about it. But I think stylistically, the mise en scene, what you see on screen, looks great. They actually show like the World Trade Centers. It's rumored that this is the only Hollywood film to ever have been filmed inside one of the World Trade Centers. That got some comments on IMDb like, oh, that's wrong. So I'm actually not sure if that's true or not, just based on lack of evidence to back it up. A couple people claimed it on IMDb in their like reviews, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. So take that what you will, but they definitely, you see the exterior, but it's rumored that they actually got to film inside. Take that with what you will. I'm not sure if it's true or not. I think, again, the style, Robert Redford actually rides a really cool like Solex scooter motorbike. And that's Solex, and he looks so freaking cool doing it because he can pull that off. Not all guys can pull that off. He can. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the romance of this movie, or the not romance, or the shoehorned romance, because that's not giving away the plot that much. So when Turner and Kathy meet, it's very reminiscent of like the 39 steps of how they get like pushed together, and it's like, I need you. Turner needs Kathy and what she may know or not know, but he doesn't know if he can trust her. And the scene in which he takes the gun and kind of points it at her in a somewhat not serious manner is very reminiscent of the 39 steps, in which Richard Hannay pretends that he has a gun in his pocket to get Pamela to sign in at the hotel registry because they're handcuffed together and they're looking to get out of it. But anyway, their banter and the tension between them, very similar to the 39 steps. Or North by Northwest for that matter. It just is very reminiscent of that. A lot of people who have seen this movie said the romance is shoehorned because this is the 70s and it's Robert Redford and Faye Dunaway. Like, oh, it's shoehorned into the picture, you can take that out. Like, you can take the element of them sleeping out of the picture and it wouldn't change a thing. And it was just shoehorned. It may be shoehorned, but I don't really care. And in the end, I think that makes their relationship more interesting. I don't know. There's a great scene in which a mailman comes to the door, and Robert Redford's character is so paranoid that he's like, oh, just leave it on the doorstep. But he can't because he has to sign for it, and the pen that the mailman has is out of ink, so he has to come into the house. And it turns out the mailman is not a good guy. He tries to shoot Robert Redford, and there's this great choreographed fight scene. And Sydney Pollack mentioned this. The great challenge was not to do it Butch Cassidy style, because Robert Redford is a very physical, hands-on guy. But the character he's playing is like a bookworm, non-athletic type. So that fight scene is very interestingly choreographed in that it's not very physical. It's more ducking. It's like MacGyver, like pulling the rug out from somebody to make them slip. Kicking a gun into the corner, that type of thing. It's very interesting, and the impact that has on Turner and Kathy's relationship, like she finally starts to trust him a little bit more. I find that really interesting. But anyway, this movie, I highly recommend it because it's interesting, it's different. I've heard people say that it makes a good companion viewing to The Parallax View. I've not seen that movie. I know Dustin Hoffman, I think, is in that one. But I think it's very interesting. I think I have to watch it again to really grasp the ending. But the ending shot and what it says about the paranoia and the government and the world that we live in, even today, I think it's a very powerful, powerful ending. And it's done in a way where it's not over the top. It's less is more, and you have to infer. But the ending shot says a lot, and I quite like that. So I just want to say this movie is really, really interesting. I don't think that the concept of the way it's set up is dated. I thought it was actually cool to see all the retro technology, like when Robert Redford uses the dial phone and hooks up a tape recorder to it to record the person on the other end. I thought that was so cool because I've like never seen something done like that before. So it's a moment in time, yet it feels really contemporary. I don't think it's that dated. I actually think it's pretty cool. There's a cute little scene in the beginning in which the Chinese secretary teaches Robert Redford's character Chinese calligraphy. I totally geeked out over that because I can actually write Chinese calligraphy by just eyeballing it. Like, you give me a sign and I can eyeball it. So I geeked out over that. Even though it's a brief, like, 10-second thing, I totally geeked out over that. Real example of Robert Redford's star power, and also a strong character role, because he doesn't just solely rely on his good looks and charm to carry the role when the role is actually quite interesting. So I highly recommend this. It's interesting, it has a great cast, it's a good director, and set in a time in which I think the paranoia element works very well today. So there you have it. I hope I did a fun review on this, and if you want to see it, come back and let me know. Or if you have seen it, what do you think about it? And I just want to say thank you for watching this, and I will see you again soon in the next one. I'm Emily Graziano. Be kind in the comments, or you will be removed and reported. That's my warning. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.